And ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I am your lovable, cuddly host, Sweet Bobby, better known as Bobby Gaines. What's your name? It's Bobby Gaines. Where do I live? In a little town called Bowden, Georgia. What do I do? Absolutely, positively, not much of anything. I am a retired 30-year person of the federal judiciary, where I served in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. I did a lot of things in there. I did the financial analyst type stuff, management analyst type stuff, and I taught a lot of what else did I do? I did a lot of planning on events. We did a conference for 700 federal judges and attorneys and placed that on every 2 years. So we did a lot of time back in my federal service. And then came COVID, and I'm like, enough of this. We got like a little early out thing that they was able to get me out of there a little bit early. So I retired in 2021. And since then, I've been teaching adjunct at the University of Alabama and one semester at the University of West Georgia. And I wrote a children's book, and I am currently writing a 80,000 word novel called The Graduate Millionaire, which will be a very, very good book. I wrote the entire book, and then I realized that it focused too much on college kids and it didn't focus enough on people who may be in their 40s and 50s. So I added a character by the name of Berkeley Perkins III. Berkeley Perkins III is a rotund individual that lives with his mother, and he adds a comedic element to the class. And I teach the class financial everything, financial literacy, life, liberty, finances, and all of that. I'm very proud. I've got 5 adopted children. Today is the gotcha day of my oldest daughter, Abby, and we got her back 20 years ago on this date when my wife and her sister flew back into the United States from Guatemala with a little curly head baby that I am very proud is mine. Let me see if I can show y'all a picture of Abby. She's a pretty little thing. Let's see. Let's go to this and we'll find this. But anyway, we were having a really, really good 3 years of trading. We were doing extraordinarily well. We had, with the strategy that we had done, here's my daughter. Look at her when she was a little baby. Isn't that cute? That's my little Abigail. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? 20 years of cuteness. There she was, Dinky Diva, my little baby when we were at the beach one time. There is uh Angie with her. Look at there, there's Beth and her, and there she is today. Is she sweet? Well, that's my baby. So anyway, happy got you day too. And so we were having 3 good years really, and we were, if memory serves me correctly, we were doing 20% annually returns for about 3 years. And 2022 was a really good year when the market was down like 20% and we were up something like 20%. I think that's the case. Was there a citizenship naturalization process? Absolutely. And then there's absolutely, well, that's a great question. And then, Dwayne, you'll like this. I worked with Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas, to I did a lot of his travel for our conference, and uh, I went up to him and I said, Justice Thomas, I said, it would be great if you would welcome Abby, my daughter, into the United States as a U.S. citizen. So we had just got her citizenship papers. We waited a long time. We didn't get them until she was like, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that, 15, when we finally got her citizenship papers. And how do I find that? Oh, here it is. And we got him to welcome her in. Let me show you this. So here I am standing the camera
Time as a citizen.
and watch what Justice Thomas did for me.
Abby, welcome as a citizen in the United States. I hope you have a wonderful time as a citizen. Your rights are protected. And what I will guarantee you is I'll do my best to make sure all of them apply to you and all of them are there for you.
Wasn't that great
Abby,
that he did that
welcome.
for me? I thought that was, and that made Abby's day right there to know that Justice Clarence Thomas welcomed her into the United States. I thought that was very good, and what was so good about it is I asked him if he would do it on Thursday. Right, it was a Thursday that I asked him. He says, "Bobby, I tell you what, let's do even better." He said, "Let's wait till tomorrow, and I'll have my robe on." He said, "And let's do it with my robe on." He said it'll be more official. And I thought, yeah, he didn't have to do that. So he's a very nice person, very nice person. And he would come get coffee with us every morning and just a really nice guy. So anyway, we had 3 really good years of thank you, Brandy. Yeah, that was cool. We had 3 really good years of trading. And then came, unfortunately, August the 5th. And if memory serves me correctly, I'm gonna try to tell y'all how it really happened. I had this hedging strategy that was working out really good, and we actually sold. If y'all help me, this Dwayne and Rick, help me if I'm wrong here, but I had 21 naked puts in the E-mini S&P 500 futures, and that were not protected with long puts. And when August 5th volatility hit, I opened my computer and all of my accounts were showing negative values. They all were showing negatives. And it was really, really, really scary. I was sitting there going, oh, holy crap. I'm going to owe Tasty Trade or Thinkorswim or whoever it was at the time. I said, I'm going to owe them an incredibly large amount of money based on this. And I tried to sit down and do the best I could. And I'm like, how could you have done this? And one of the reasons was that we had that is we didn't know really how to use the tools that were available to us on Tasty Trade to monitor our risk. And we were doing this trade called the 111-112 that was doing really, really good. A really good, safe trade. It made income and it was a great trade. And it just blew up that day. And I basically closed all my positions. Fortunately, uh, I never got a margin call that I had to fill because we actually got out of positions. It was just too much to hold because, like I say, the account balances were less than zero, and I thought we were going to, be just really kicked out of the market. But we actually survived. It was a big loss, and I basically been shell shocked ever since. Yeah, Rick says it was a horrible day for all of us, and I really took it really big. And so we tried some other things. We tried some dabbling into TQQQ. That was my second time dabbling in TQQQ, and that just didn't kind of work. And then recently, I've been doing something where we've been doing some scalping and stuff. Now, a lot of people are saying, Bobby, are you going to stop scalping? And not at all. I've kind of enjoyed that. It's given me something to do instead of sleeping all day and watching The Young and the Restless. It's given me something to do, and I've really enjoyed that. But it was a horrible day, August 5th, 2024. And so I've not sold a single option since then. Really haven't. I've just been too shell shocked going, what went wrong? What could have possibly gone wrong? We had a plan, we had a spreadsheet, we had a written trading plan, we had everything that we needed to be successful. And that day just smacked us in the mouth. And, Mama said there'd be days like that, but I don't know if she ever thought that there would be a day that was that bad. And it wasn't really that the market went down that much. I think the market was only down 4% that day. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think the market was down 40%, 4%. But what was problematic is the VIX went from like 17 to like 60. I think that's what it went to. We could look at a VIX chart and see what it went to. And remember, when you're selling options that are the size of a watermelon, all of a sudden you have a VIX go from a 15 to a 60, then that watermelon is the size of a circular swimming pool now. And you go, holy Shimon. And it was really, really, really bad day. It was a really, really bad day for all of us. So actually, y'all have noticed, for those of you that have been with me for a few years, I go on vacation. And during vacation, as I'm sitting next to the ocean, and a small man standing next to a large ocean gives you a lot of perspective. It brings things back into perspective. And I sit there and go, Bobby, you were so successful trading the 111 and 112s. You really should get back to it. You really should, in some form, fashion, get back to it. And during our vacation, I watched the video by Murray Lindow that basically talked about his misfortune on August the 5th and how he's kind of got back into it. And I kind of liked what he was doing. I'm not sure if I'll figure it out. Rick said I can figure it out by deltas and everything, but what he did is he does five different underlines. He does the 111 and 112 in the E-minis. He does it in the bonds. He does it in gold. I think he does it in crude oil, and maybe he does it in corn. I think corn was the last one he does it in. And so I thought, well, I may not do all five. I used to trade corn. I don't want to trade corn again. And I'm not sure if I want to trade bonds, but maybe we could do the 111, 112 and a little bit of gold and then a little bit of crude oil. That seems like it may be okay, so that we kind of not uh what's the word? We don't anyway, we spread our risk around into non-correlated assets. It's kind of a hedge of sorts, so that all your eggs aren't into the one S&P 500 basket. As much as I love the S&P 500, that's where I really, really, really want to spend. So if you were sitting there thinking that, hey man, this would be a great time to sell premium. The Nasdaq's down 0.5%. The E-minis are down over 0.5%. So maybe it's a good time to do something of that nature. I don't remember how I'm gonna have to remember how to do it. Now we'll have to see how much buying power and how much left that we've got in all the accounts and all that kind of stuff to do this. But first of all, it's a new month, and that means that we need to do a new Big Green Monster. Why do we do the Big Green Monster? Well, it's kind of a really, really good little thing that helps us. Uh, hey, what the heck? Where's my hand? Here you go, Mr. Hand. So let's see. We're going to use June price action to forecast levels in July. Okay, that's all we're going to do. So we're going to go and get a Fibonacci tool, and you can't do this because I have the specific areas on my fib chart change. See, I have 50s and 80s and 100s and all of that here. And y'all don't have that unless you've been with me for a while and you redid your numbers. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to edit that, and we're going to go, okay, the high of the E-minis were during July or during June was 6265.5. 6265.5. 6265.5. And the low was 5950.25. 5950.25. And my leg is bleeding because I was attacked viciously by a silky rooster as I was trying to give the ungrateful bastard some water a while ago. But he and his whatever did not want it, I guess, and he attacked me and flogged me ruthlessly. Now let's see, what do we do? All right, so we drew that. So then we got to go and move this thing, right? Uh, let's see, I forgot how to do it. Let's see, we got to edit this thing. And okay, I'm having a brain fart because I've done the thing. I'm gonna do this later. I'm gonna draw this later because all of a sudden a big brain fart. I'm thinking about the rooster, and I can't think about how to properly draw the big green monster. But I know we're supposed to put the 50 to here, right? The 50 to here, mark that thing, and then we move to the 0 and 100. But I'll do all that later. I don't feel like doing it right now because I got a brain fart. So now we've got to go back to hey, what do we do with our 111s and 112s? So the account that we'd be trading it in is we've got 34,000 here. Now, this account really is more or less a 50 something thousand dollar account, but I've moved some of this out so that we can go and do some things uh, uh, with some of the other uh, scalping things that I'm doing. So what we would want to do, make sure we're on the right account that we want to trade is this one. Yeah. And so the only thing that we hold in this one is Bill. Bill is the only thing that we've got. And remember, on the first day of the month, this thing goes down and it eventually goes up, and you get your thing back and you're fine to go. But that's where we want to go. And how much buying power does MES? Let's see, how much does a 112 take? Because again, it's a great day to do a 112. So let's go trade. Let's go table. Now, all different kind of things that we could do this on, right? With the MES. We could go out 120 days. We could go out 102 days. We could go 85. We could do 60. But I kind of like the uh, that 102 day, the 120 day, around in there, as long as the bid asks are okay. And that'd be a good place to sell and do a 111, a 112. And I think after I've looked at everything, I think I'm more or less looking at um doing a what am I saying here? So y'all help me do it. So we were doing a 50 point wide spread, right? For about $10 where it would cost. So it's been a while since I've done this and I'm a little nervous doing this. So let's do a 50 wide spread. And let's see where we can get that out. So that's $6.70. And we were doing these. Let's see, let's move these up. I forgot how to do all this. $7, 7.75, 10.75 right there. So we wanted to spend about $10 on these things. So you could go, that's at the end of the expected move, right? And we could go buy that debit spread. And if we were to look at that, this kind of looks like this, right? Kind of looks like, hey, you lose if you go up, but then when you go down, you start making that money. And then basically what we were doing is trying to pick up about $20 on, look at some of these wide spreads. That's changing a lot. 59, that was 100 something ago. Let's see. So we wanted to now sell something to where we could get about, I don't know, $20 or so. And that is right here at the 4,900. And it looks like that is two standard deviations out, right? Two standard deviations out. Now, Rick, tell me what you're doing now. You said you're moving yours out farther. What are you doing?
So honestly, Bobby, I'm doing a 6-4. I'm selling
Hmm.
six and buying four, and I'm selling like at about the 2 to 3 delta. So it's different than the 111 or the 112, but basically I would sell. I never sold higher than a 5 delta. That's just me.
Okay, you never sold higher than a 5 delta. So if I'm going here and I sold this 20, that would be just about what I need to do, wouldn't it? If I was doing the 111. Collect 20 here, spend 10 here. That's a net $10 back to me. How much buying power does that take? If I sell that, so it looks like it's going to take me $500 in buying power. Let's see. We can make this back a $50,000 account if we want to, but if we're going 34,000 and we're doing $527, let's see what that is. $527 divided by 34, whatever this was, then that would be about 1% of our thing. And we're probably looking at our VIX of using maybe about 35 to 50%. And maybe like Murray does, use 50% if we're going to use various assets. So actually, if that's 1%, I could probably do one in an E-mini. So that would be times 10%, and that would be 10% of our buying power in one trade though. I kind of don't want to concentrate that. Oh, and thanks, Rick, for posting the uh thing because I had a brain fart today. Have y'all ever been like that? You go on vacation and you're like so crystal clear. You're sitting next to that ocean. You got sand in your toes. You got it, the water. You're sitting there and you're drinking a Diet Coke, and the kids are collecting seashells, and you just are just like clear, man. And it's just clear. And then you get back to work and you're like, what am I doing? That's where I'm at today. I'm at the what am I doing? So I think this is pretty good though. So we'll collect a little bit over $10, and let's put this in. Let's put this in. So let's see if we can look at it on the curve to see what this thing looks like. What does it look like? Why does that not look right? Hold on. Let's see. Counts. You got that. You see, it's been a while since I've used the things here, and Brandy's thinking, "Oh my God, Dr. Gaines, you are out of it today," and I really am. So 50 wide put debit spread, and you're paying for it with a 4,900 puts. And can you imagine what it would take to get us down to this? But the problem is the uh, volatility. That's what got us last time. Our puts were never in danger. It's the volatility that swells up this thing. So I think this sounds very, very good. So let's try to put this in and get back on track. And what I will do before our next session is I will enter this into our new spreadsheet, right? We need to start the spreadsheet down. We need to make sure that our trading plan is good. And let's start creating a little bit of theta decay. So this should give me $2.36 of theta decay. What is theta? Theta is the amount that these options break down over time, and it's quoted as a dollar amount per day. And so this should be a dollar amount that you and I should make. And since the money's just sitting here in this account, since we've been doing the scalping, I say it seems really good just to let this kind of sit there and make a little bit of money. So let's do this. One or more futures have less than offer deal. Going to reduce our buying power by that. We're going to collect $55 in premium and send it, baby. And nothing. Let's see if we get figured out how to get figured here. So this one is working. So replace order. Let's see if we can get filled at, let's see, make it less advantageous to it. Let's send it for 1150 and nothing. We'll move it a couple times and then I'll let it work. 1125. We don't want to go down to that 875 because we definitely want to at least get $10 on this thing. And we are in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands. That is my first options trade since August the 5th. August 5th when we closed everything. Doesn't that feel good? It kind of does feel good to actually be back in the game again with selling options. All right, anyone got any questions on anything? So we're going to get back in the grid. And it's going to take me a while, y'all. I'm off vacation. It's going to take me a while to get the spreadsheet set back up. I'm very lazy. I just got attacked by a silky rooster. Got a lot of things going on. My pool is middle of freaking July, and the pool still looks like my Lanta. So we're trying to get that fixed, and so the kids can have some bit of pool time in the summer. So it's a lot of stuff. So I feel very accomplished. I am someone, and dadgummit, people like me. So who's got any questions? All right. If not, we will gladly see y'all tomorrow.